Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Cubs Sports Report, our second ever episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Grant, and I'm here to talk about the latest Cubs news that is going on right now. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to be able to see all of our videos. Check out our weekly main episode with Mason and I on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock, where we talk about all sports. We just did our NFL preview episode, so we were excited about that as that was our first ever episode a year ago. So make sure you guys check that out. But with that being said, let's dive right into this Cubs news. Look, we just played this series against the Braves, and yes, we had a series win, which is good. It's always nice to win these series, but it just felt like we should have swept that series, and this is now back-to-back series that felt like we could have swept these teams with the Rockies and now the Braves. And I know it's kind of like a you can't have your cake and eat it too situation. I know it's like a major league team and it's hard to beat them three times in a row, but it just really feels like we need to start doing that especially if you want a chance to win this division against the Brewers, you're going to have to start sweeping some of these teams. But other than that, a pretty good series. I'm going to kind of go over Monday through Wednesday one at a time. So we'll start with the game on Monday. What a great come from behind victory, being down 6-1 and being able to pull out a win. That felt very much like that August Cubs team that we fell in love with, that, never said die, never gave up, always would come back and find a way to win games. So it was really good to see that. Or sorry, not August, you know what I mean? Like the May team and stuff like that. The team that always in the beginning of the year would come back and win these games, and it was really good to see that with Carson Kelly having a huge game, the two-run home run in the eighth, and then coming up in the 10th inning to walk it off. Just some fantastic stuff to see. A very exciting game for those who didn't get to watch. I recommend watching the highlights because it was a very exciting game. Like I said, down 6-1, and being able to come back and find a way to win. Something to note was that bullpen was fantastic that game, holding them scoreless those last few innings. Um, Brad Keller, who's a guy that I said I want to start seeing more and more of, and maybe even potentially be our closer, had a great ninth inning. And man, Andrew Kittredge in the 10th inning with the Texas tiebreaker rule, where you have the runner on second base, he was absolutely nails and got us out of that inning without giving up a run. So when Kittredge is on, he's pretty good, but he does struggle from time to time. Um, Great win on Monday, and then we go into Tuesday, and Kyle Tucker, fantastic swing, opposite field home run, his first of the year, puts us up 4 to nothing, and we end up winning that game 4-3. It's another solid game. Shota got hit around a little bit, gave up 3 solo shot home runs, but Shota, we know as a fly ball pitcher, he's going to give up home runs here and there. Just happy to see us get the win. The vibes were very high until later in the game. We saw Willie Castro out in right field, meaning Kyle Tucker had been pulled and no one really knew why. Come to find out after the game, Kyle Tucker is dealing with a calf injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious. We should get an update on that pretty soon here with the off day and all. Um, Hoping that he's just back in the lineup tomorrow to start this national series, but you never know. Calf injuries, you kind of got to take those a little serious. So we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, Tuesday was another good win, which made me think going into Wednesday with Cade Horton pitching, we'd have a real chance at sweeping this series. And Cade Horton was fantastic, 5 innings, and he didn't give up a single hit. Was through 5 perfect innings, was fantastic. But once he came out, we made the move to go to Ben Brown, and I just think that you're always asking for trouble if you go to Ben Brown, especially at this point in the year. And it kind of fell off the rails there. The bullpen wasn't very sharp. Drew Pomeranz got hit up a little bit. Taylor Rogers gave up another home run, which I don't know what it is with Taylor Rogers. I liked that trade when we first made it, but boy, he seems to give up a home run every single time he pitches. It kind of reminds me of when we had Genesis Cabrera on our team not too long ago, and every outing he'd go out there, he'd give up a home run. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. So yeah, the bullpen struggled, and we ended up losing that game 5-1, I believe. Offense didn't show up either, though. To be fair, you can't expect to win a game with only scoring 1 run. So you can't blame it all on the bullpen and all on the pitching staff. But would have been nice. You have 2 nice wins on Monday and Tuesday. You go into Wednesday, you have honestly your best pitcher now with Cade Horton. I don't think there's any debate anymore on who the best pitcher is. And you think you have a chance to win, and they just weren't able to. And that's kind of been the story with this team all year. They just cannot sweep a series. I don't understand what it is, like what the problem is, why they can't sweep a series, but they can't do it, and it's a little frustrating from time to time, especially when you're trying to gain some games here on the Brewers. And if they can't sweep some of these series coming up, then they're not going to even touch a division race, let alone win in the division. So they're going to have to figure it out. Um, so yeah, that pretty much wraps up that series for the Brave series. I am happy that we won 2 out of 3. That was my original prediction. I did say that I thought it could have potential to be a trap series, and thankfully it wasn't for the most part. It just would have been nice to have a sweep. That's all. Some of the latest news that I want to talk about going around right now, Kyle Tucker injury. Obviously, I just talked about that. He has the calf issue going on. I'm hoping that it's not too much and it doesn't cause an IL stint, because he finally looks like he's starting to be back. He had that great road trip where he got on base like 20 times and he batted like a 4 something bad and average. So he looked fantastic there. And then obviously, like I said, on Tuesday night when he had that opposite field 3-run home run, that was like the swing where it's like, okay, this guy is back and he's King Tuck again. Like, he's ready to go. And unfortunately, like I said, got taken out of that game later, and really hoping that this doesn't cause like a 10-day IL stint, because he really started to look like he was back in his flow, back in his rhythm, and he was going to start winning us some games again. So we should be updated on that by no later than tomorrow, because we do have a game tomorrow. But I would like to get a little bit of news on that today during the off day. We'll see what happens with that. Another piece of news is just, I just want to talk about how great Cade Horton has been. This guy, I mean, it's like unbelievable the numbers that he's putting up right there, right now. He goes out there and you know exactly what he's going to do. And the craziest part of this all is that he's on a pitch limit. He was only able to go 5 innings last night, but even with the pitch limit and some of his starts, he's able to go 6 or 7 innings and look absolutely fantastic and fresh. And he's so efficient right now. He's looking like Jake Arrieta 2.0, which is crazy that like he is in the same breath as Jake Arrieta in his rookie season. It's just fantastic. His stats since the All-Star break, he's 6-1 with 44 strikeouts and a 0.77 ERA. He lowered it last night with his 5 scoreless innings. He is now at a 0.77 ERA. Let that sink in. This is in 9 appearances. The only pitcher to have a lower ERA after All-Star break is Jake Arrieta with a 0.75 ERA. So he does have potential to catch Jake Arrieta. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, like I said, it's just unbelievable what this guy's doing. He has been the best pitcher in baseball since the All-Star break. He's leading stats over guys like Paul Skeens, Tariq Skubal, all those big names that we hear about all the time. He's doing just as good, if not better, than all those guys. So I couldn't give enough flowers to Cade Horton. It's fantastic what he's doing, especially only as a rookie. And it kind of brings up the debate right now of, should he be on a pitch limit or should he not be? I know a lot of fans were upset that he only went 5 last night, because it felt like he could have won us that game, even though we only scored 1 run. It felt like he could have won us that game with how locked in he was and how good he was. But I think I think I'm going to have to lean towards, we still need to have him on a pitch limit, just because I want to see him in playoff time. I don't want him to risk getting injured. And, he's a rookie. He's never thrown this many innings before in his career. So I want to be able to see him, be able to stay healthy and be just as fresh for when the playoffs start. And it's like he quoted it himself last night when they interviewed him about it. He said, look, I'd rather get pulled out early in games now than when we're pitching in, October. So I don't think that's the exact words he said, but he was along the lines of that, basically saying, I don't care about the pitch limit now as long as I get the pitch come playoff time, which I think is a great mindset to have, by the way. So I think I'm leaning more towards that side. But hey, let me know down below in the comments. Do you guys think that he should be on a pitch limit or not? Why or why not? Just let me know what you guys are thinking on that, because I have seen some debates on X and stuff like that about it. One final noteworthy point about something going on right now is PCA has now gotten 3 days of rest, or will have 3 days of rest after this off day. He was benched on Tuesday with the lefty matchup, and then yesterday he was given another night off, and obviously with the off day today, he gets another off day. I think that this is a good thing. I do. I love PCA. He's my favorite player on the team. I've been a huge fan of his since last season. I saw the sparks of potential. Um, and he's had a great year, fantastic year, one of the best center fielders, if not the best in the league. And it's no denying that he's struggled. He's been one of the worst hitters in the month of August till now. He's just been awful. No other ways to put it. Which it's okay. He's 23 years old. He's gonna grow. He's gonna be better as time goes on. But he's been struggling, and I think it's really good to give him some off days and kind of let him mentally reset. Um, I'm really hoping that he'll be able to find his groove again right before playoff time. That would be nice to have him heating up going into the playoffs. So I'm really okay with him, uh, getting some off nights. I'm okay with Kevin Alcantara uh, getting some platoon starts here and there against left-handed pitch, and I think that can all be good things for PCA because PCA is a very mental player. I mean, we see it all the time with how emotional he is out there. Um, so you want to make sure that he's all right in the head going into the playoffs. And I think this is a good way to do it. But he did have a great game on Monday with the bunt that led to the 2-run double by Dansby, and then he made some spectacular plays out in center field to save the game. So I think that he'll get out of it, and I do think it's okay for him to have some rest here and there. But let me know what you guys think. Should he be starting every single game still, or do you guys think it's a good idea to give him some rest here and there? Let me know. Okay, now finally, what I want to do is give a series preview versus the Washington Nationals. The Nationals are 56-83 and are 3-7 in their last 10. I hate to sound like a broken record here, but this has to be a sweep. It has to be. This Nationals team is not good. It's just plain and simple. They're not good. We got to beat them. If you have division aspirations and you want to win your division and you want to go into the playoffs out of the wild card, you have to sweep teams like this. You just have to. You have to sweep teams like the Braves. You have to sweep teams like the Rockies. So if they keep not sweeping these teams, they're not going to have any division success. They're going to have to play in the wild card, which is okay. But I really want them to sweep this series. I think they can. For the pitchers, we have on Friday, we have Javier Assad. Saturday, we have Matthew Boyd. And Sunday, right now it's listed as TBD, but I would expect it's Colin Ray since that's the order of the rotation. That's where it falls. I'd be shocked if it wasn't Colin Ray, but maybe they think there's potential for. I don't even know. I think it's going to be Colin Ray. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens this series if Kyle Tucker's going to be back, if PCA's little 3-day hiatus gives him a spark here. We'll see. I'm hoping they can sweep. Like I said, I think that's what they need to do. But let me know down below what you guys think is your expectations for this series. And that's pretty much going to wrap up this episode. So thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Cubs Sports Report. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notifications because we have all kinds of videos going on at GM Sports Report. I know Mason is doing his first New York Sports Report with his cousin Cole. They're going to be talking about Giants, Jets, Yankees, Knicks, all about those things. So if there's any New York fans out there, make sure you're tuning into that. I'm going to still be doing the Cubs thing after every series. And I'm also going to be doing a Miami Sports Report on Miami Dolphins and Miami Heat. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And of course, our regular show on Wednesdays, where it's just me and Mason talking about all things sports. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Cubs Sports Report. Like I said, we need to sweep. Go Cubs, go. And hope you guys have a great week, everybody.